Tracking when a user requests a page in SiteSpec is easy using a simple URL-triggered metric. But often, there are several different links to the same URL on a page, and we'd like to know which link users clicked on more often. This is when you need an EventTrack metric. EventTrack metrics can be used to measure any behavior detectable in JavaScript within the browser. For example, how much of the drop-down menu did the user look at? And how far down the page did the user scroll? Measuring these and other types of user behavior can be invaluable in knowing why a variation performed the way it did in an A/B test. You might find these measurements hold the clues you need to create a winning variation. So now let's take a look at how you create an event track for your A/B test. You'll first need to include the very small EventTrack JavaScript library on the pages where you want to measure behavior. EventTrack metrics are triggered using a JavaScript function that takes a string identifier and an optional numeric parameter. They're often used with the on-click event of an anchor tag, like this. If you have several events to track, you may find it best to insert a script block on the page that attaches EventTrack functions to several on-click events. Now that we have the event firing in the browser, we need to set up a metric in SiteSpec to receive and record it. When the event track fires, SiteSpec receives it through a metric set up to trigger on specific URL and CGI name conditions and a CGI value condition that matches the string identifier. Now it's time to verify the event track metric. Unlike standard metrics, event tracks must be verified by looking at SiteSpec information in the response header. Here we find the event track request with the string identifier, and in the SiteSpec info field we see R:1, which tells us the event was indeed received by the metric in the A/B test. One word of caution, be sure to include the event track metric functions in the control group and test that they fire there as well. You might want to set up a manual control for your test instead of using the built-in control group. As with a standard metric, an event track metric can collect a numerical value, for example, the order value or basket size, which is reported out as an average value per visit and can be compared between control and variations in the SiteSpec reports. Modern websites are dynamic and often load content in the background, allowing the user to accomplish more on a single page. They also commonly allow for customized presentation and contain highly interactive controls, which enhance the user experience. These are all reasons to use event track metrics to measure user behavior in the browser and to answer not only why a variation won or lost, but perhaps the more important question, why?